Hey everybody, it's Jay Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Blue Jays Gems. And today we're going to talk about jigging for walleye. That's right. You guys have probably seen the last couple of videos that I've made have been about our MWT series, our first series, which is on the Detroit River in the beginning of April. And what I want to do is break down for you the setups that we were using, what colors we're working, what my setup is, and how what I prefer to use. Might be a little bit different than what the norm is, but check out a few of these fish catches and check out a few of the highlights of this MWT series. There was 3 days of filming that I did. I did 1 day of pre-fishing, and then I filmed 2 days of the tournament. So check out some of these fish catches and some of the highlights, and then we'll get down into the setups and exactly what we were using and how we're using it to catch some of these big Detroit River walleyes. Stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss this. Sucker. Golden sucker. Oh yeah, look at that. Golden sucker. How you like that? Just my luck. We should be recording. There we go. That's an upgrade. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Here we go.
So we got Team Mark Davarn, J-Ball, and Brandon Herzog. And why don't you drop right on there, see what you got. Looks like you got one really nice one in that bag. 2390, and we got a big fish to weigh. Ooh. Throw it in there. Yep, throw it right in there. That's definitely gonna go big fish for a little bit. Second biggest fish of the day at 659. Good job, guys. Keeps you in it for tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Big bag tomorrow, and anything can happen. Thanks. You bet.
Yeah, hold them up and I'll get a couple pictures. Nice. Fish. Oh yeah.
913. Not gonna make it, but a very good day of fishing, guys.
Pretty cool. It's really hard to capture the content in these videos, and what I'll do is I'll leave a link to all the videos throughout this this video here. It's not going to be too long, but I'll leave a link to those videos somewhere up here so you guys can check those out as well. But let me break down for you first what lures we were using, what jigs and what trailers we were using. What we found is that the water temperature was between 38 and 40 degrees. It had a slight stain to it. You know, looking at the bottom of the prop, we could see just below the bottom of the prop, maybe to the skag. And it seemed like in that color water and that temperature of water is where the fish were. In the crystal clear blue water, like it was on the US side, most of the time the fish weren't there. But we found those fish in that more stained water. Again, water temperature is like 38.5 to maybe 40 degrees. And the real fire colors for us was this AW, this red and black 1 ounce jig with this black and silver Wyandotte worm was a really good color for us. We had a lot of success. And then also too was the Lure Lipstick Current Cutter jig, this black and silver, again with a black Wyandotte worm. That was a really good color for us. And then also this green pumpkin Wyandotte worm was actually another really good color for us. I did hear too that golden red was really popular. So here's a golden red current cutter jig. This is a 1/2 ounce version. So we weren't using this. We're using 3/4 and 1 ounce. But those were primarily the colors we were using: black and silver, red and gold, and then red and black. And that was really what the fish were keying in on. Talking to a few of the locals, that was really the color those fish wanted. The baits and the colors that we were using. Here's a tip and trick for you. Don't be afraid to focus in on the shallower water. Some of the biggest fish we caught, like that 10-pounder you guys saw, that fish was caught in about 10 to 12 feet of water. And the majority of the fish that we were catching on the second day of the tournament were in about 14 to 16 feet of water. So don't be afraid to focus on shallower water, especially early in the season, because those fish might be laying up in the mud. They could be laying on a sand flat. They could be laying next to a piece of structure like a seawall where there's heat radiating down, making that water a little bit warmer. That tends to really draw those fish in. Now, as far as my rod and reel setup goes, This is not probably your most common rod and reel setup, but this is what works for me. I try to use the same rod and reel combos for a lot of different fishing. So any of you that know that have seen in my videos know that I'm a huge fan of spinning reels, spinning rods. This is a 7-foot medium heavy fax action tip bionic blade from Bass Pro Shop. I've got this 12 or 10 pound high vis Power Pro braid, and then I have about a 4-foot leader of Seaguar fluorocarbon. It's a 12-foot leader of Seaguar fluorocarbon. And then what I do is when I connect the braid and the fluorocarbon, I use a barrel swivel there just to help keep the line twist down. And just like a 300 series reel, this is the Lose reel, Mach 2 300 series reel. And that's really the combo they use for jigging. I know a lot of people like to use like a 6.5, medium heavy or medium rod, a little bit more blend, a little bit more play, and that's fine, right? That's where people are comfortable. For me, I use this rod only for jigging for walleye, but I use it for casting my ripping wraps. I use it for my topwater lures. I use it for steelhead fishing. I use it for a lot of different things. So for me, it's a very versatile rod, and I like to use it for jigging. Again, probably doesn't have the same flexibility as a typical jigging rod, but hey, this is what works for me. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys learned some tips and tricks on some of the colors to use, what water temperature to look for, what depth of water to look for, especially in this early walleye season. So I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Make sure you leave a thumbs up and a comment if you like this kind of content. Let me know what else you guys want to see. We're gonna start getting into bass fishing here real soon, but I wanted to make a few walleye videos because that's pretty popular right now. A lot of people are making that pilgrimage down to the Detroit River to catch these big walleye. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And remember, the easiest way to change your attitude is by showing gratitude. Thanks, and we'll catch you in the water next time.